What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MMTLP and FINRA saga.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on.
And for today's video guys, I have a set of news and I have to admit that some of them are quite promising for MMTLP community. Some of them are not, but I have to show this news for you anyway. Because you have to know the bigger picture for the today's position. On top of that, I will explain you one more time what will be the resolution for you if you transferred your shares to AST. And guys, I have so many news to show you on today's video. That is why, without further ado, just hit the like button and let's start. So, first of all, I want to pay attention to this tweet that was written by X Market News. It is a former Metamaterials news, and it says, Justin, is Gary Gensler hinting at resigning? The chairman's speech this morning, and here is the direct speech. I've been proud to serve with my colleagues at the SEC who day in and day out work to protect American families on the highways of finance. And guys, I didn't find any information on his Twitter account, on Gary Gensler Twitter account, but I found this news that was published on frankness.com. And it says, Gary Gensler now hints at resigning in a new speech. Let me quote you this. The SEC Gary Gensler now hints at resigning in a new speech, with which may have compared to a farewell as he reviewed his time at the agency. Securities and Exchange Commission Chairman Gary Gensler spoke this morning at the Practicing Law Institute 56th Annual Conference on Securities Regulation. And here's his direct speech. Before I close, I want to say something about the SEC and its staff. It's a remarkable agency. The staff and commission are deeply mission-driven, focused on protecting investors, maintaining fair, orderly and efficient markets, and facilitating capital formation. Guys, this statement alone is quite ridiculous, but nevertheless, let's continue. The lawyers, accountants, economists, policy experts, and other staff generally could make more money working somewhere else. They choose, though, to work on behalf of the public here at the SEC. It's been a great honor to serve with them, doing the people's work and ensuring that our capital markets remain the best in the world. Again, quite a suspicious statement. He later concluded with the following statement, and let me quote you just this one. I've been proud to serve with my colleagues at SEC who day in and day out work to protect American families on the highways of finance. And guys, to be honest, I think it is a sure thing that Gary Gensler will resign within the next several weeks or probably by the end of this year. The only question is who will replace him and what will be the policy for the SEC for the upcoming several years. And for now, it is too early to make these assumptions. The only thing I can tell you for sure that Gary Gensler will not work anymore as a Securities and Exchange Commission CEO. On top of that, I want to pay attention to this tweet. So, Bill Singer wrote this. Gary Gensler says he was proud to serve as SEC chair, defends his approach to crypto regulation. Gensler failed to prioritize. In trying to fix everything, he fixed nothing. He misallocated funds and stuff to the market's detriment, reaching beyond grasp. And this tweet was retweeted by RareDD, and RareDD added, so Gary Gensler said that the failure to properly police the crypto industry had resulted in significant investor harm. Meanwhile, the SEC's failure to police FINRA has caused significant investor harm as well, guys. Over 65,000 families have been impacted by FINRA's hijacking of the MMTLP corporate action and U3 halt to protect FINRA member firms that were on the brink of being forced to close legal and illegal counterfeit short positions. FINRA broke their own rules, but the SEC's CEO is yet to call them out for it. Esther Pierce claims they don't know what to do. All that focus on crypto when they haven't even addressed the actual securities. What is the SEC's use case? And definitely this is quite let's put it this way, suspicious, because Gary Gensler's main goal is to regulate stock market, because stocks is a real securities and crypto is not a real security, let's put it this way. But he has much more attention to this part. On top of that, guys, because of the saga in the field of crypto industry, we have new lawsuit against Gary Gensler SEC. And this lawsuit is directly related to the cryptocurrency actions that surrounded, I guess, XRP or some other crypto tokens. But I have to say that Gary Gensler, first of all, has to answer all of the questions that he was asked back in the days in the letter of 74 members of Congress. So, let me show you another quite interesting update. John Burda 15 hours ago wrote this tweet in response to a tweet that was written by Glass Guy. And Glass Guy published these recordings. It is the speech of Ralph Norman, Representative Ralph Norman, in regards to the MMTLP saga, where he switched his opinion because of the lawsuit that was filed against Metamaterials, John Burda and George Palikros. And John Burda wrote this. Let me quote you in details. The last name is Burda, not Burna. Pisses me off that we can't sue congressional members for slander. Every time I hear this, it infuriates me that someone we trusted to understand what happened can be so wrong, intentionally or unintentionally. I wish I had $175 million from the sale. Guarantee he never read the complaint. MMTLP or the Series A preferred distribution is not mentioned in it at all. Better to remain silent and thought a fool than to speak up and remove all doubt. And guys, I have to say that I know about this case where George Palikros and Metamaterials were fined for several $1 million. But at the same time, guys, first of all, we have to see the result of the lawsuit against SEC from John Burda, George Palikros, and MMAT in regards to the same case. And John Burda and George Palikros just recently wrote their letters in response to that, and they are ready for answering the questions under the oath. And in my opinion, this fact speaks in favor of John Burda. But at the same time, guys, Roman Soups, another MMTLP community member who has quite opposite opinion on the entire saga. And guys, you know that I'm unbiased. That is why I have to show you this update, and let me quote what did he say. John Burda Gate update. Fact checked. Ex-Torchlight CEO John Burda, charged with the fraud and market manipulation by SEC, now says falsely that charges have nothing to do with preferred dividend at center of alleged scheme. Easily proven wrong by simply reading public SEC complaint. And he refers to this tweet that I just read to you. John Burda's statement below is false. The SEC charges against him are centered on the preferred dividend MMTLP, and in fact the words preferred dividend are mentioned 103 times, many times in bold as alleged by the SEC. The preferred dividend scheme was concocted by Burda to get funding for next breach, and Palikros was on it from the outset. As further alleged by SEC, the whole scheme of the preferred dividend MMTLP was to obtain money for next breach hydrocarbons in Burda's plan to raise capital for next breach hydrocarbons. Maybe John should follow his own advice. Open mouth, insert foot. No need to trust me. Download the complaint and search your own. And he added the link to the complaint itself. And as you can see, he added the screenshot of the tweet that I just read to you. And here is the screenshot of this complaint, and we have a number of plenty of mentions of preferred dividend shares. On top of that, he added Roman Soups added this, and he highlighted the phrase, the sentence, MMTLP or the Series A preferred distribution is not mentioned in it at all. And here is the SEC compliant, and he counted how many times preferred dividend were mentioned in it, and it is 103 times. So, It is just a fact, but the main fact where Ralph Norman was wrong is the number of the remuneration for John Burda. And Ralph Norman said that John Burda received $175 million in bonuses, but John Burda received only $1.5 million cash bonus. So this is the only mistake that was made by Ralph Norman, according to Roman Soups. But guys, everything should be investigated much deeper, and if, only if, John Burda, George Palgros are guilty in this case, they have to be prosecuted. Otherwise, no one can say that they have to pay something, and no one can say that they are guilty and they have to make more in order to have the resolution. But I have to admit that John Burda, in my opinion, is still trying to help the MMTLP community, despite the fact that yes, he told us back in the days that he didn't sell any shares of MMTLP, despite the fact that they sold some of them. And for now, I have to say that everything should be investigated, and only after the judge's decision we have to make our conclusions. So let me show you quite interesting update that shows how I don't like this word, but I have to use it, how miserable SEC work is at this very moment. And Stephanie wrote this. Well, South Korea is really doing a great job identifying naked short selling and market manipulation and taking swift action. Funny how Gary Gensler, Esther Pierce and SEC hasn't been able to discover the blatant and out-of-control manipulation. Gary doesn't even think a naked short selling exists. I guess retail has been right all along. And she refers to the tweet that was written by Kristen Shaughnessy, and she wrote it 20 hours ago. South Korea's investigation into 14 global banks is wrapping up. While intentional and long-term organized activities leave no room for leniency, if issues arose due to simple mistakes or vague regulations, we should minimize criminalization and make administrative actions predictable during the handling process. The FSS, it is basically the same agency as SEC. The FSS has been investigating illegal short selling by 14 global investment banks since last year. And I have to say that this investigation is ramping up, and we have to see more connections in between short positions on the Korean stock market and short positions on the US stock market. And this will definitely be quite a huge step towards the fair and transparent markets in general. So let's move forward. Scott Trott 19 hours ago wrote this tweet in response to Keycap's tweet, and Keycap wrote this: victim shareholders didn't cause the problem. The MMTLP situation is unique in that we are frozen in time. Those who oversold participated in the halt and who have continued to stall efforts for a resolution are now faced with the time crunch. Yesterday's announcement of Matt Gaetz as a future AG should cause all of those parties concern. He signed the open letter. He's met with shareholders. The MMTLP letter was attached to the Devon News DJT letter. I believe there will be a spotlight on this situation, and the ability to mitigate losses will be out of the hands of those who caused the problem. If they are willing to negotiate a resolution, I would suggest they pick up the phone and contact Next Bridge. Would Matt Gaetz pursue a case if victims have been made whole? And Scott responded to this. Kay gets it right, but we are not victims if we finish this. We are all just delayed investors. And guys, Scott is the only person for now who has an active lawsuit against the wrongdoers, and we have to keep an eye on his actions as well, because in my opinion his path to the resolution is most prominent at this very point. On top of that, guys, 15 hours ago he reposted the tweet that was made by MMTLP TRCH, and it says: why hasn't NextBridge Hydrocarbons done anything besides cost MMTLP registration fees, value and time? Asking for a friend. And he added several screenshots. He explained that basically NextBridge Hydrocarbons didn't do anything. They even remove the dividends from the nuclear for the people who sent their shares to ST. They canceled DV at SEC request. Dilution without OG shares being premium. They lost Orogrande lease and they done nothing to reconcile. So let me show you the second screenshot. So, is there currently a reason or any urgency to transfer shares to Equiniti for an upcoming dividend? And this update was made by NextBridge Hydrocarbons at the very beginning of this year. And it says there is no need to be in a hurry to transfer your shares to ST. And previously, we had a lot of actions that forced a lot of MMTLP community members to transfer their shares. Next tweet and this is the letter where Greg McCabe explained that they lost the Orogrande asset. And I have to say that a lot of people have a lot of doubts about the resolution that might not be implemented for the shares on ST. And guys, this is my yesterday's video, and Edward Barona 1078 wrote me this question. Andy, can you make a video on what will happen if MMTLP settles and you're on ST? And CryptoFan6255 wrote this. Are you going to ask this on every video? And guys, I have a lot of questions like Edward's, but I will explain you my point of view within just 1 minute. Plain and simple, if naked shorts are settled and you have NBA shares, you get nothing. You won't have naked shares, so you won't have shares to be settled with. Why do you keep asking? How do you not understand this? And Edward wrote, well, let's see if Andy makes a video, cause he says different and the same with others. And another answer from another person is following, but all MMTLP became NBH. And guys, to be honest, I disagree with CryptoFan, but I disagree only partially. He wrote that if naked shorts are settled and you have NBH shares, you get nothing. He means that potentially we still have 2 additional trading days for MMTLP on the table. But guys, let me show you these 3 basically ways for the resolution. One of them is 2 days of trading, and by the way, in Scott Roth's lawsuit we also have this mentioned, but in my opinion it is the less possible way for the resolution, because MMTLP is a private company, not MMTLP, but NextBridge is a private company. We don't have any connections for now, right after the spin-off happened. We don't have any connections in between MMTLP and NextBridge Hydrocarbons. We have additional number of shares on top of 164 million shares, and this means it will be unfair for new shareholders to have these 2 additional days of trading, and it will be unfair for other shareholders who cannot trade their shares because of the transferring to ST. And guys, that is why I think 2 days of trading has the probability of a fraction of percent. That is why I highlighted it in red. Next one, number 2, and then NextBridge Hydrocarbons short sellers settlement. This is the most prominent way, because for now we have a lot of things that happened, basically that have been happening for more than 2 years, and I have to admit that the scariest part for this is the Orogrande Basin that we've lost basically just 1 month ago. And this settlement should be based on 2 major things. One of them is the value, intrinsic value of NextBridge Hydrocarbons, but the most important part of the settlement should be the illegal actions that should be investigated and that should be added to this case in order to see how severe the damages were for the MMTLP shareholders. And number 3, share sale via merger and acquisition. I have to say that for now we also basically I don't see that this is an acceptable way, and I don't see that it has a quite high level of probability. And I think we cannot rely on this path, because guys, we don't have a substantial intrinsic value in NextBridge Hydrocarbons because of the latest update on the Orogrande Basin, and because of their 10Q report that basically shows that NextBridge Hydrocarbons has liabilities for more than $51 million, but they have just less than $150,000 cash on hand. That is why I prefer to highlight this path in red as well. So we have just one path for the resolution, and this should be the settlement in between the short sellers and MMTLP shareholders. And guys, in my opinion, it doesn't matter where your shares are located physically, if you transfer it to the AST or you hold it on your broker accounts. This settlement should be equal for each and every shareholder, because without this, some people might receive more remedies for their damages and some people might receive less remedies. And that is why, guys, it cannot be done by definition, because every single shareholder has to have equal rights in NextBridge hydrocarbons, and that is why you have equal rights despite the fact where your shares are located. And guys, let me tell you my personal story. I have a wife and 2 children aged 11 and 15, as well as a small dog. After 30 years of living in Russia near the Baikal Lake, we decided to move. Now we reside in Serbia. Although I don't own any MMTLP shares, I invest a lot of time creating daily MMTLP videos. I have been doing this every day without days off and holidays for more than 1.5 years. Now I wish to buy back this time from my family, from my children. We've agreed that I will ask the MMTLP community to support me, and I will give all the money to the children. Therefore, if you believe that I am providing useful content for you and wish to support me, you can join my Patreon account. For $5 a month, I will add your name to my list of supporters if you wish. Thank you in advance. The link you can find in the description below. So, I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm back.